Hello and welcome to the stock market analysis. Today let's continue look at MSTR. MSTR is now dropping to an area of support. If you know about the 50 MA, it can be an area of support. Stock has been declining and now is trying to find support at the 50 MA. Now this 50 MA is extremely important because if the 50 MA cannot hold, there is a possibility that Microstrategy might decline all the way back to the 200 MA. So we are at a very important area at this moment. Now the stock has gone up by quite a lot. If you look at price range, when it went up from here to here, it's all about 300% in a very short period of time. And right now it's declining. Well, let's take a look at the Fibonacci level and see how far it has declined from the moves from the lows here to the up here, and now at this level is at the 50% level. So this is a very important area, 50% retracement level as well as the 50 MA. Now let's take a look at the weekly charts. And the 50% retracement also is about the area of the previous high here. So this stock has to start to have, it needs to have slowing bearish momentum. It needs to stabilize before we can even think of buying the stock for a long trade. Okay, now the stock is in a weekly uptrend ever since it has a bullish cross here. It has been going up, and the dips and breakouts are viable. For example, the dips here to previous high support area are actually viable, especially this correction to a support area, and boom, all the way it went up. So at this moment we really want to look at this area, the former highs here, and see whether we can see a slowing down of bearish momentum. When bearish momentum starts to slow down, we want it to base, to start a stage 1 basing, and eventually we want to see it start a stage 2 uptrend in the daily chart. So we are right about that area. If you can see this green, the spot area that I've done. Now one of the ways that I often look is to go to a smaller time frame chart and see whether it can break above the downtrend line. Ideally, right, let me just maybe draw like this. Okay, we connect the highs, as many highs as possible. One of the best ways to see a change in trend, a slowing down of bearish momentum, is to draw a trend line in the shorter time frame. Let me just go, this is an hourly chart. If you go to the 2-hour chart, maybe you can see things a bit clearer. Alright, the breaking of a downtrend line will often tell you that the bearish momentum is slowing down. We have a bearish momentum here all the way. If you can trade up, go a bit down, and then eventually break out above this downtrend line, then we will have possibly a new short-term uptrend, which might propel it higher again. Now going back to the 60-minute chart, at this moment the stock is trying to go back higher, but if it cannot go back above this downtrend line, it will just bounce here and sell off again. So very important, the downtrend line. It is also below the 200 MA in the 60-minute chart. This tells traders not to long the stock in the short term at this moment. You really want to see it go back above the 20 MA, 50 MA, and the downtrend line before you think about buying the stock for a longs in the short term. Now, of course, the 5-minute chart has a lot of tradable opportunities. Let's go back a few days to week, few days here, trading days. 15, 16, 17, 18. Of course, we are in a downtrend. So when the stock is below the 200 MA and the 200 MA is declining, this is a 5-minute chart. Remember, it's best to focus on shortings. For example, we have the stock breaking. This is a breakdown. bearish cross, declining 20 MA, declining 50 MA, declining 200 MA tells us to short the stock. Here as well, you have a kind of descending triangle play. So when the 5-minute 200 MA is declining, you want to focus on shorts. Right? This is also a break of an uptrend line. And here in the 5-minute chart is tried to make a higher low. This is a low, higher low, and right now it is back above the 5-minute 200 MA, and maybe we can start to focus on longs in the daily, in intraday trading, not for overnight holds. Overnight holds always look at the 60-minute chart to determine where, when and where we can buy. So this stock goes up, declines here, found support. This area, this was a support area, which is why it bounced up, and right now it's just trading sideways, and we want to see if it can break above this consolidation or not. If it can, then we can probably see it higher. Otherwise, if you draw an uptrend line and it breaks below this uptrend line, possibly it will go down in the intraday charts. So let me just show you a chart of MicroStrategy with the MACDs. So you can see that the stock, even here, it has the Bollinger Bands already giving us warning signs that it was topping around here. Here it broke above the Bollinger Bands, but this top here, as it formed the dojis showing slowing bullish momentum, it was within the Bollinger Bands, and it made a higher high, but the move stayed within the Bollinger Band, showing potential weaknesses. Here the MACD lines make a lower high, a bearish cross, and you can see how damaging it is. So sometimes you should not ignore all these signs that the MACDs and the Bollinger Bands give us. And here, when it fell below the 20 MA, it was a warning sign that things weren't that good at this moment. Now, what you want to see is that the stock is now at the lower band of the Bollinger Band. Okay, you want to see this support hold, the 50 MA hold, and soon the MACD histogram, you want to see it shorten to tell us that bearish momentum is slowing down. We already have a bullish signal in the stochastics, but you need a bit much more than the stochastics. You want to see it, these MACD lines curve back up. This support needs to hold, otherwise you might see more selling down. So you might want to wait for a few more days to see what is happening and what's going to happen to MicroStrategy. And of course, it's also very important for us to continue to look at the Bitcoin. Okay, because from what I know, MicroStrategy owns about 1% of Bitcoin. So of course, Bitcoin prices now are at support. Bearish cross at the moment, a failed triangle breakout in Bitcoin. You try to break out triangle, then it failed. There's a bearish cross coming, and if support does not hold, it may drop, and that might hurt MicroStrategy as well. So that is something that now one thing I'd like to address is the owner, director, and executive chairman of MicroStrategy has been selling a lot of shares of MicroStrategy. You can see the stories where MicroStrategy Inc. chairman and 10% owner Michael Saylor sells company shares. You can have a lot of this news, and from here, if you go to Finviz, you key in the ticker symbol and you go down all the way, you can see insider trading here. Saylor Michael J, executive chairman, like dates and option exercises and sales. A sale of shares, even in April 17, 16, he's been selling, well, almost on the way up, you know, millions and millions worth of it. If you go all the way back here in to March, right, you can see that he has been selling quite a lot of shares. The value of is here. So is that something to worry about? If, let's say, we go back to Microstrategy here back in March 1st. So here's March 1st, and we see sellers selling a lot of shares as it goes up. Is it something to worry about? Well, in my opinion, it's normal and all right for executive chairman and director to sell their shares. Right? Maybe they want to take profits. They need the cash for something else. Now, the most important thing is for you to realize that how much is the worth or percentage that he's selling. Okay, let's say he's a 10% owner. If suddenly he sells all his shares, or 50% or 70%, then that might you might need to start thinking why. Okay, but if it's just small percentage of what he owns, then it's not that big an issue, because they are just like us as well. Owners, sometimes they sell shares to have cash. All right, they've been holding it for many years. All right, so I'm not going to go into detail into how much he owns or sell. You have to look at it and see the percentage wise, right? So as long as it's not a big huge chunk, let's say the owner owns 50 million shares, and then within a month he sells 30 million shares, that's almost like 60%, then something might you must understand the reason why. But if it's a small portion of it, then you don't need to worry about it. Okay, so that's my thought on it. But as always, it's better for you to keep that at the back of your mind. Yes, the directors are selling, the owners are selling, but the trend of the stock is much more important. And one of the ways is to look at the 20 MA here. So when the stock was rising, you want to stay bullish when it's above the 20 MA. But the moment it drops below the 20 MA, like, it's telling us the trend is changing, and you need to be a bit careful if it drops below the 20 MA. So trend following itself already helps you to understand a lot of things and get you out a bit earlier. So always remember that the trend is your friend, and always look at the trend of the stock. You need to keep in mind. So I hope that this analysis has been helpful to you. I will try to do MSTR every 2 days because I also look at other stocks. But I hope that this will be helpful and that you come back in to see the analysis. And I'll see you in the next one.